Greg Wyshynski, ESPN, Chris Peters, ESPN, talking 2020 NHL Draft, aka the Zoom Draft. It was a night to remember, a draft like no other, Chris. No schmoozing with the GMs at the draft floor. Instead, we get Alex Trebek giving away draft picks in the form of a Jeopardy question and answer. Let's start off with your favorite pick of the night in the first round.
Yeah, I think it has to be Cole Perfetti, who fell to number 10 in the Winnipeg Jets. I had him number 4 on my board. I think he's one of the best playmakers in this draft. I think he fits very well with what Winnipeg does in terms of, just making plays. They have a lot of guys that can score goals. I think he's going to make them better in the next couple of years. When Winnipeg has a high pick, they tend not to miss. And this was one that just kind of fell into their laps. I thought that was a great pick for them.
Yeah. I'm going to go Lucas Raymond, number 4, Detroit Red Wings. They could have gone with Cole Perfetti there. A lot of people in their mock drafts, you included, I believe, had them going there with Cole. To me, I thought Raymond was a special player. I thought he had a very special offensive skill set, could create a lot of offense. He was one of, roughly 10,000 people compared to Mitch Marner of the Toronto Maple Leafs in this first round by the punditry. But he's got that kind of game. And I feel when you're Steve Yzerman, you look at the way that he built the core in Tampa when he was there. Obviously they luck out, they get Hedman, that predates the previous ownership group, but he gets all these offensive players, your Braden Points and all these other guys as the core of that group that just won the Stanley Cup. And you can see the same kind of thinking here with this pick and what he's trying to accomplish now with Detroit. Love the pick. I think he was the best offensive player left on the board at that point after the top 3 picks. So I dig that one. That was my favorite pick of the first round. Now, other side of the coin here, sir, your least favorite pick of the first round.
Yeah, well, there were some shockers, obviously, but the one where my tweet was, oh my, because I couldn't believe that it happened. But the New Jersey Devils took Shakir Mukhamadullin with the 20th pick. And, I've watched him live. I've seen him on video. He was number 87 on my draft board. He's had a good start to the KHL season, but, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And so when you have, 3 draft picks, you can take shots like the Devils did. This was one that was so far off the board for me personally. I just did not see it coming. So it was one surprising, but also, having seen the player quite a bit, one that I'm definitely concerned about considering what was left on the board.
Obviously, the worst pick was Alexis Lafreniere, the Rangers, total bust. I mean, the new Nail Yakupov, just kidding. The Rangers, I bow down to our new hockey masters in New York because, my goodness, they're going to be a very good team taking Lafreniere. This is upper deck card, as you can see behind me. I'm going to go Columbus Blue Jackets at number 21, taking Yegor Chinakhov, who was, according to Jarmo Kekalainen, in their top 10 of prospects. I understand that he's off to a really good start in the KHL, I believe, this year. And that obviously opened up some eyes to him. And look, here's the thing. Jarmo Kekalainen is a draft genius, okay? He is playing 4D chess. I'm eating Play-Doh when it comes to the draft. I fully acknowledge that. However, when you go off the board with a guy who was not anywhere near the first round on most of your mock drafts, I have to believe the opportunity was there to get him a little later. Jarmo was asked about this after the draft first round. He said, hey, look, we didn't want to run the risk that he wasn't going to be there. I get that thinking. I don't agree with it. But at the end of the day, Jarmo is a little bit smarter than I am at this draft stuff. Still don't love the pick at that point in the first round. Now, here's the big question. What was your biggest surprise of the first round? Not necessarily a negative one, maybe a positive one, but your biggest surprise of the first round.
Well, you just mentioned it because I didn't have Chinakhov on my top 100. And he's a second. The thing about it is he's a second-year eligible player.
Yeah.
And it is so rare to see a second-year eligible taken in the first round, much less a Russian second-year player. So the Russian factor is officially dead, doesn't exist anymore, not a problem. And so for me, he's a very interesting player. Absolutely, as you mentioned, off to that hot start in the KHL. But it was just so far afield from what I thought would happen at that pick, given what was available. And he's a guy you're probably not going to see for a few years. So there's not like an immediate need that he's going to fit. So I was blown away by that. I was like, I kind of had, this has only happened one other time since I've been at ESPN where somebody not on my board went in the first round. So yeah, that was definitely a shocker for me.
Yeah, no fault of your own. You have a wide net that you cast for these prospects. You can't catch them all. I would say my biggest surprise is no trades. Where are the trades? You know, all these teams have to shed salary. They got to get rid of underneath the cap, the flat cap, the $81.5 million. They all got first-round picks. I thought we would see the movement of picks along with players to open up cap space. We didn't see anything. We saw the Calgary Flames move down the board a few times, the Rangers to jump up and make a trade to grab a defenseman that they wanted, but we didn't see any big player moves in this first round. I was really baffled by that, knowing what a premium there's going to be on moving out salary. You know, you get a team like Vegas looking to try to move Marc-Andre Fleury, attach a first-round pick to him to maybe move that salary off their cap. But now they can't. They made the pick. It's done. So I was a little surprised by that, in my opinion. Now, let's talk quickly about number 31 here, our boy Ozzy. I mean, obviously awesome pick in the draft, but a little touching moment at the end of the first round.
Yeah, I mean, Ozzy Weisblatt, it's well documented. He comes from a big family with a single mother, and she's hearing impaired. And Doug Wilson Jr. steps up to the podium, signs Ozzy to let her know as well that her son's dream is coming true. And he's a high upside guy. He kind of fits the profile of the Sharks as well. So it's not necessarily a reach for them. He's a guy that was kind of hovering around my first round throughout the year, but an incredibly touching moment. It's the best moment of his life. And then Doug Wilson Jr. added that extra personal touch. I mean, I kind of teared up a little bit. I'm not ashamed to say it.
For Chris Peters, I'm Greg Wyshynski, ESPN. Thanks for watching, and continue to keep watching our coverage on ESPN.com of the 2020 NHL Draft.